All right. Here is weekly vlog number 5. If you are new to this idea, every week I do a quick vlog to kind of like give you an idea of what my week looks like. That serves a couple of purposes. One, if you watch my teacher channel and tips and stuff, gives you a little bit of insight into who I am and like a little bit of my story, so that when you're watching my tips, you know who that individual is. And 2, I just think it's cool that like in 100 years, my great grandkids will be watching this, and I love that idea. I'm gonna jump into this. It's gonna be quick this week. 1, it's raining out here in New Jersey. 2, the mosquitoes are insane here in New Jersey at this time of the year. They're all over me. I don't know if I can survive out here. And 3, it's hot as snot outside. Feels like there's like a thin coating of moisture all over your body in July in New Jersey. However, here's what happened this week. Reporting live. Not really live, I mean alive, I guess. I don't know. First thing, I'm gonna do one of those dirty tricks that YouTubers do sometimes. If you stay all the way till the end of this video, there's a special announcement of something that people have been asking a lot of in the comments, and so I'm going to address that situation at the end. And the family and I have an announcement for you, and that's it. Tuesday, my buddy called out of work. He's teaching summer school. He asked me to fill in. I could not film any of that, but I did go in and film, and it just reminded me of how hard it is to be a substitute teacher, because it's not your class or not your rules. You don't know what happens in that class when you're not there, and it can be very difficult. The first class I had was very aggravating, and I did not like them very much. And then the second class was much better, but substitute teachers, I feel for you. It's a hard road out there when you're trying to like fill in someone else's shoes. I feel for you. I send my love out to you right now. There it is. I started doing something a few months ago that I don't talk about on the channel very much, but every once in a while someone will leave a comment or send me an email that I feel like whatever they said requires a conversation. So I put it out there to see if they want to do a phone call. And I've been doing these phone calls for the last few months with a bunch of individuals, and now I'm trying to pare them down to just Mondays. So Monday I made phone calls to a lot of different people. If I called you, I'm not gonna like put your call on this vlog because that would be rude. The one call that I had to a woman in Arizona spawned a really good conversation afterwards. So if you're watching this, my friend Miss Yonkers and I, who is the special ed teacher that I co-teach with during the year, we had a really great conversation, and some of that looked like this. Hi, this is CJ from Real Rap with the Reynolds on YouTube. So then I thought I'd just give you a call and try and see if I can help you out a little bit. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Really like doing that because I feel like a lot of times like people just need someone to talk to. Like we did give advice, but it wasn't like a ton of like...
They need a Reynolds. Yeah. Like when I come in here and I'm like, blah! And then you just confirm how I'm feeling, or you're like, no, you're doing it right. I'm like, oh, okay, I am.
Yeah, and it's so funny that like teachers don't always do that. No. For one another. Like they just are competitive, or they're in their own bubble, or you think about like, this is my prep and like I'm getting ready for my next class and I don't have time for this one. Like that's everything. It makes every single facet of your job better when you have someone that will just listen to you, give you a little bit of advice, but like even if they don't, even if someone might suck at advice. So it's like just listening and really listening and saying, that sucks. I'm really sorry that you're there.
The whole relationships is king. It's like, I think it applies to everything.
To every single thing in life, right? Like
even
it's not
teachers.
Just with the students, it's the teachers, it's the janitor, it's the lunch people, it's like all that stuff if you have good relationships. And the fact that like teachers put other teachers down because they're doing too much or they're trying too hard or something like that.
They want to build relationships.
Every kid wants to be loved, right? Some need it more than others, and maybe that comes in when you're one of those extremes. Either like you've stood out because you're really smart, or you stood out because you're really struggling. And those kids obviously need it, but you know, just like we said, like, you know, if you take a student with Down syndrome or autism out in public, everyone can see that, right? Like it's a little bit more visual, but it's those kids that are struggling with things on the inside that like do have learning disabilities, but they don't, maybe like they look like everyone else. It's really easy to discount people like that. And so
even students like in nonverbal, selectively mute, like I feel like people often talk to them like they're slow or dumb
or real quiet
you know? Or really loud. That's the other one. Like, I'm going to talk really loud and really slow. Like, you know, you don't need to. You can just talk to them.
It's like when I used to work at Home Depot, and if someone came in and they only spoke Spanish, like my coworkers would talk really loud to them. Be like, do you know what you want? And it's like, dude, I I don't think he's deaf.
No. So from what I've experienced, so I think a lot of times people don't know how to interact with students with like neurological differences. At least that's the experience I've had. Like one summer, I had a group of kids. We traveled, like we did different day trips, and we took them to Statue of Liberty, and like it was very apparent we were an interesting group of people. And we were getting on an elevator, and I had someone like slowly like go around us, like they were going to catch something, or the way in which they would interact with my students was really interesting to me because I've been working with that population for like a long time. So it's the norm. You just talk to them like they are the young teens they are, and not.
And isn't that true with like every single person on earth, right? Like if you have a friend that has cancer, no one wants you to like be all sad around them and act like they're super fragile and they might fall to pieces any second. Like, or if you had a friend that like tried to commit suicide, like chances are anyone I know that have ever been through anything like this, they don't want you to be like, oh, are you all right? Like, can we watch this kind of movie, or can we, like, are you able to go out to dinner with me? Like, hell yeah, man. Like, I want to be, I want to go along with everything else. And that is true with students and people that get divorced and kids that can't read well, or if it's Zoolander, it's kids that don't read so good.
I give you the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good.
How can we be expected to teach children to learn how to read if they can't even fit inside the building?
I just think that's so important. Like, everyone just wants to be treated like they are like everyone else.
And I think that's the problem, right? Is like my expectation when you are building a relationship with someone, and I think for like some of our guys, at least the guys that are like dealing with more emotional side of stuff.
Yeah.
When you build a relationship with someone, like each person gives halfway, but for those students, they give less. So that person, like the teacher or the other person they're building the relationship with, has to go that much further. And I think that's an uncomfortable space for some people.
All right, then it came home. I was really tired for some reason. And here's a dad tip for you, everyone. My son wanted to play Minecraft. And when you're playing Minecraft, the screen splits and one person's playing on one side, one person's playing on the other. And I was too tired to actually play, but he gets mad if I'm not playing. And, you know, I probably just had the guts to tell him I don't feel like playing right now, but I didn't, because I love him and I want to do what he wanted to do. So instead, I always fall asleep with one finger on the button that has me chopping something and one finger that has me turning slowly, and then I just fall asleep on the couch like this. I legit did that for 15 minutes and nobody had any idea except for my wife, who decided to film me, and I didn't know that she did until after I woke up. And that was interesting. Tuesday night, I did a teacher talk live with my friend Randy Rebai, who's the author of An Infinite Number of Parallel Universes. Randy is a friend of mine. We were part of the same church for a long time. We worked at the same school for a long time. And he recently moved to California last year, so his wife could be in a doctorate program at Syracuse. Or no, not Syracuse. I don't know. Some school out there in California. She's smart. We got to connect on Teacher Talk Live, and it was really fun. It was a different flavor than usual, because typically the conversation that we have in real life looks like a lot of sarcasm all the time, and so I think that came through, but there was some definitely like really worthwhile things in that conversation, especially to do with like how to get your students to be excited about reading. Wednesday, we had friends over. My friend Miss Yonkers came over, and my friend Miss Cho, the one that doesn't like to smile ever. She's smiling. Look, it only happens twice a year. It's like the solstice. It's my Cho face.
Stop.
Come on, let's do every week we have one of these pictures. It's like
a picture?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I'm older, so we call these moving pictures. Like my hair's coming down. It wants to tickle you.
Don't touch me.
Thursday. What's up with this hair? Like flock of seagulls all of a sudden.
Hey, do you like flock of seagulls?
I can see you do.
Thursday, my collaboration video came out that I did with Bridget. It was supposed to come out early in the morning. It took 16 hours to get uploaded to YouTube. I stayed up the entire night before. I set my alarm for every 30 minutes because it kept failing to upload. And so it would get to like 90% finished, and then it would say, your videos failed to upload. And so I found this other kind of trick, and I got it. Sometimes despite your best efforts, you just look completely inept at life, and that was one of those days. but it did great. The video's doing really well. Tons of people commented on it, and one of the things I try to do is comment to every single comment that comes my way. So if ever didn't comment on your stuff, I apologize. Somehow got lost in the sauce, but I try and comment on every single comment. I was so excited to be able to have that conversation with Bridget, and it was awesome. It was so fun. Then we went to the pool, which looked like this.
Go. 3, 2, 1,
Yeah, we don't really have membership to that pool, but our friends do, and sometimes all you need is a friend that has a membership somewhere. Pools and boats are things that I never want to own in my life, but I definitely want to have a friend who owns them. Thursday night, had a Teacher Talk live session, second one of the week, with my friend Dustin. I met Dustin through YouTube. Sometime last year, Casey Neistat, the YouTube vlogger, he got these Nikes that lace themselves up, like the ones in Back to the Future 2. He gave them away to someone that needed them. Dustin is quadriplegic. He is paralyzed from his chest down. And so Casey gave him these sneakers. When Casey was talking about it in his vlog, I noticed that he said that he was a high school teacher. So I went online and looked him up, and sure enough, he was a high school teacher, and there's not a lot of high school teachers on YouTube that I can find. So we connected through that, and we've been meaning to do a face-to-face collaboration for some time, but it's not worked out. And so instead, we got together through Teacher Talk Live, and it was really fun. We got to talk a lot about how teachers with disabilities handle those sorts of challenges in the classroom, and how does it affect their teaching style and the way that they teach, and how do schools treat you when you are disabled? Do you feel like it's fair or that you are getting what you need? It was a great conversation. One of the things I want to start doing with Teacher Talk Live is bring as many different types of teachers as I can, and not just have a show that has people that are going to benefit me, but that will benefit all of you as well. Friday, we went for a walk. Apparently it was too hot out for the children. We walked about 4 blocks. My wife had to come pick them up, and the dog refused to walk. It's like 90, I don't know, 98 degrees out or something like that. But the kids are in all day. They gotta get out and get some fresh air. Now we're at the park and no one can handle it, including the beast. I really don't blame the beast, but I do blame the children. They're not so tough. Mean. Not tough. The not so secret wife is on her way home from work, and she's gonna stop down at the park and pick the kids and the dog up. So what, it's 98 degrees outside and sunny. I mean, come on, kids. We live in New Jersey. That's what it's like most of the time. And then Saturday, he did a little pre-gaming. We went to the toy store.
All right, guys, time to wake up. Let's get going.
All right, guys.
All right, let's go.
Time to start the day.
We are at Toys R Us now. Mara, are you planning on wearing that glove into the store?
Yes.
Oh, hooray for us.
It's for Brody's Ash.
Oh, you sure? You sure it's not from the Cyndi Lauper fan club from 1985?
What? They did that.
You know, girls just want to have fun.
Oh, girls just wanna have
The Goonies song.
it's good enough for me.
Here's a dad tip for you, everyone. Go to the toy store before their birthday and do some pre-gaming, so they can look around, see what they like and stuff, and you can see what you like. Never take them after their birthday, with a pocket full of money, and then they have to pick stuff out, because then you're there forever, and then they're indecisive, and you got 97 toys on the ground, because you're trying to figure out which one to get. So always go pre-game. Right, Brody?
It's me, Mario.
And me, Luigi.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Footballs look like turtle shells. It would be hard for me to not throw this out of my car window.
Daddy, look at
It was funny going to the toy store. Brody's birthday comes up on Monday. He's gonna turn 10 this year, and I can't believe I have a 10-year-old. It's magical. When we were at the toy store, it made me think that just a year ago, I got into doing YouTube, and I got into YouTube for Brody because he wanted to have a YouTube channel, and then here I am. We made a video last year in Toys R Us, and I'm not gonna clip that because I used music that I wasn't allowed to use, and I got in trouble for it. It's still up on my channel if you want to go check it out. I'll leave the card right here. When you take kids to Toys R Us, you can be weird, and it's all right because you're with kids. If you go to Toys R Us without kids and do any of that stuff, you might look a little strange and they might ask you to leave the store. But as long as you're with children, you just look like a good dad. Then Saturday night, I had an interview with my friend over at Kafupa Land, all the way down in Australia, or over in Australia. It was a really great interview, and we talked for like an hour. She is so funny. Even before we did the video, Emma put out a video of her acting like me, and it was... Here's the picture from it. That was hilarious, and it was a really great time talking to her last night. And then late last night, we did a photo shoot because I have a new video coming out on Monday, which is the first year teacher tag loop. So there are a number of teachers that were asked to do this. It was kicked off by Teach Like a Girl. Someone will have a video, and then they'll link it to the next person's video, and the next person's video, and the next person's video. It's just a bunch of fun people talking about being teachers in their first year. And so I needed a thumbnail for this, so we set up some stuff in the kids' art room last night, and I sound really rich when I say art room. In the alt room slash where the washer and dryer go. One of the ideas that I had was to write first year teacher across my forehead. Didn't really work out, but I had Brody write it on there, and that was fun.
Is this rough on you?
I'm just trying not to laugh.
Like creepy. I did.
We now bring you this special announcement. Hey everyone, we've been getting a lot of comments in the comment section below, because that's what goes in the comment section a lot of times, comments. So some of those comments and questions have been to have a video that has the kids in it and Q&A with either the kids or with the not so secret wife. And so we thought that we would do that for you. So if you're interested in anything about us, go ahead and just leave a question below. So whatever platform you're watching this on, go ahead and leave a question below. We'll answer almost any question. There's a couple of questions Brody won't answer. Like what, Brode? Is there anything off limits?
Like, did you like peppers?
I'm not answering that one. Don't
ask us about peppers.
Don't even come at us with that pepper talk, because it's not happening. Guys, thanks so much for always watching us and for caring. Appreciate it.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Make some room for me.
Don't ask us.
Back to normal. All right.
Okay.
And there it is. Go ahead and leave your comments below. Leave your questions below. And then on next week's vlog, we're going to answer all of those questions. Me, the kids, and my not-so-secret wife. And the dog, if you have anything to say to the dog. He really likes speaking to people because he's strange and he's a beast. All right, guys. I have an awesome week coming up this week. I can't wait to share it with you. Thanks so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Peace.